What's up, guys? Chris with CNC for Newbies here this morning. Got to fix my banner here. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, I can't see because my glasses are polarized, and this morning they're messing with the computer screen. There we go. Trying to get the polarized dot out of the way. There we go. Anyways, so what we're going to be talking about today is rest machining. I had a gentleman reach out to me last night, trying to use the rest machining process as a rougher and a finisher. And I thought, man, I've never done a video on rest machining, and I've talked about it. But some of the things that rest machining is and is not, and this is my take on it. There are much better teachers out there for rest machining than myself, because the way that I use rest machining is actually in a finishing process. Excuse me. So what I do for rest machining is I will do a 3D toolpath in Aspire, and then I will then I'll do a finishing toolpath. Okay, your regular 3D carves. The thing with rest machining is I use rest machining as a semi-finishing process, not as a roughing process. And what I mean by that is I'll use a 2 to 4 flute 1/4 inch end mill to clearance the outside profile with a really smooth step over. And then I'll go through and I'll actually do my detail carves with like a 1 millimeter tapered ball nose end mill. Okay. So what I use a lot are vector boundaries. So I guess let's get into this. I'm going to have to do this. How am I going to do this? All right. It's bright. You guys are bright. That hurts my eyes. Okay. So we're going to start up Aspire. We got some new things here. Oh, there we go. I'm going to have to move my okay, let's do that. Let's take off branding. Okay, so to do this, we're going to look at, let's do a 12 by 12 by 1. Okay. We're going to go to modeling. We're going to go to clip art. Oh. Let's see here. Okay, so we have our fish here. We're going to now go back into modeling. We're going to take that fish. We're going to make it 10 inches wide. We're going to make sure, okay, shape height is a little under 3/4. That works. Okay. Okay. So now what I'll actually do is, hold on one second here. I'm having a lot of technical difficulties with my camera and stuff this morning. For some reason, my camera. There we go. Okay. So we have our fish. The way that I do this is I normally will go to here. If I have a smooth piece of wood, I'm good. If I don't, I drop it down a little bit just to make sure that I get a good cut. I use a 1/4 inch. We'll go with the 4 flute. I'm going to go with model boundary. I'm going to allow 20 thousandths to be left on the wood. I'm going to go to Z level, and I'm going to put my ramp at 1. Then I'm going to change that to a roster. We're going to go along the x-axis, and we'll calculate. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so that gives us a semi all right setup. What we can do is go back over here to modeling, and we can actually go to this button here, which is create a vector boundary. And if we click here, you'll see this pink line. This pink line gives us a vector boundary around the fish. Okay. We can now go into drawing and do an offset path. And now I'll clean out a 1/2 inch around that. Okay. Which works out really well whenever you want to limit how far out your tool is cutting. If you're doing just the 3D carve and you don't want anything around it. Okay. Another way to do a vector boundary is to do an ellipse. Okay. So we'll close that. We'll okay. Now we'll play around with this a little bit. There, now we have another vector boundary that we can utilize if we don't want to use this one. So as we start playing around with this, we can really just get whatever we want out of the design. If you want to make a dish, you want to do a sweep on it in the modeling, you can really create a lot of cool different designs with these vectors. Okay. But for what I'm doing, I'm just going to try and get the fish. I'm not trying to add anything to it. So I'll go over here. I'll do a select vector boundary, and I'll select this one. Everything else, we'll go back here. We'll ramp, we'll run, we'll that along X. We'll calculate that one. Now, if we reset preview, now we have clearance around the fish. Okay. We're going to delete this one. Okay. And now we can go back to this vector here, and we can offset that by, let's say, 0.125. Okay. Now I'll be able to go in and do my finish pass. And whenever I do my finish pass, I'm going to do a roster angle of -45. And I'm going to select this vector and I'll calculate. Now, this is going to take me a huge amount of time because I'm only using a 16th inch ball nose. Okay. So I can actually speed this up some by redoing this, and I can do a finish pass with, let's say, I don't know if I have one saved. I don't know if I have one saved yet, but we'll do a quick, let's see. Let's make one quick. Okay. For flutes, pass depth. We'll do a pass depth of 1. We'll do a step over of 6%, clearance pass 20%, 18,000. Tip radius, we're going to make this a 0.25, and we'll discard this because I'm going to have to make a new one. All right. 0.25, number of flutes. All right. We're going to do a pass depth of 1, a step over of 0.25. 4 flutes. We're going to do a step over of 6%, 18,000. I'm going to bump this up to 150 and 100 and apply and sample quarter ball nose. Okay, so we created a quick tool, and now we can select, and I'm going to go to model boundary, and I'm going to select the furthest one out. Okay. Now that looks pretty good, but we need to really get in on the, oh, my audio cut out. All right, guys, I'm going to have to cut this off. I apologize. I got no audio.